gender. Women are very, very, very much involved in everything, in health and education particularly, but also in commerce. And sometimes they need to be in public places, so as I said before, so that's when it's for the men to stay home and take care of the kids. And it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but at least it has changed considerably. There is enough discussion about the rights of women. Hasta las mujeres. Everyone has rights, including the women. And it gets played out in the communities. What about enterprise? You know, we've got commercial entrepreneurship and we have social entrepreneurship. And in the middle is this thing, collective entrepreneurship, when you are running businesses in a very sound fashion in terms of a market model, but you're using the results of those businesses for health, for education, for everything else. So what are the commercial underpinnings of Zapatista society? First and foremost, everywhere, coffee. And they know how to manipulate the coffee market. Things are not good coffee-wise. Your prices of your coffee will be going up. There has been a nasty, nasty plaga. A particular strain of coffee has been all but destroyed. So it's those who have been reaching out and planting other things. But the coffee market is still critical. It's the thing that happens every year and supports people. And if you haven't seen coffee being grown, that's what it looks like. And then it looks like that. Toulon, in the community of Toulon, one of the ones that I spend time with, honey is still a really, really, really important product. It's the best tasting honey imaginable. The bees are eating orange blossoms and coffee blossoms. Imagine what this stuff tastes like. Toulon is also really, really into experimenting with other products, grafting things together. They grow the best pineapples I've ever seen. They grow subsistence crops for themselves. They also grow things that they can sell. That's $1,200 on the hook, right there. And what do they eat? They eat pickled squid fillet, which are kind of a cross between a guinea pig and a pig. Tasty. They are also working to make things to sell. So there's always some kind of a commercial piece that allows them to keep up their commitment to the organization. That's how Toulon does it. In Cerro Verde, the other community, it's a little bit different. They do a lot of milpa. That's my colleague Duncan Earl. Keep a mixed bag of food so that they can sell some and they can eat some. But Cerro Verde's main entrepreneurial activity was their tienda colectiva, their community-run, kind of like a dollar store in a sense. I mean, an incredible variety of things were sold there. The Zapatistas underwrote the construction of this store and paid for the stock. And the community was given the privilege of running it for 5 years to see if they could make a go of it. And they made some great decisions. They ran it as a business. About halfway through, they were able to even begin to pull salaries out of what they were making. And I would arrive at the community often to find the Zapatista auditors there, going over the books, because it's a business. And if it didn't make it in 5 years, somebody else was going to get a chance. So there was the Tienda Colectiva, which was the men's operation. And then the women also had their own little store, and the children, going on the side as well. 5 years later, the books didn't balance. The auditors said, it's not working. You guys, where's the money gone? You should have X number of dollars. But what happens frequently is there's a lack of understanding of the fact that you can't just pull from the collected funds. If someone gets really sick and you don't feel that you can take care of them through the system, and you have to tap into the clinical medical system, sometimes you'll think, okay, I'll use this bit of money and then we'll figure out a way to make it up. They didn't make it up. And the Zapatistas said, we're sorry. You had 5 years to make this a going business, and it didn't work. They closed the store, they took the supplies out, and they invested in another community and gave another community a chance. Very fascinating model of entrepreneurship. Another thing that the communities are doing is linking with urban Mayas and finding a way that some of their skills can make it into an urban setting. So the people of some of the Zapatista communities worked with this woman, an urban Maya, and they produce Toholobal Maya outfits for 18-inch American Girl dolls, girls of the Americas. The urban women do the skirts, and the Zapatista women do the embroidery. We make these outfits and they sell them through us. If anyone has grandkids, kids, or I have a bunch in my suitcase, always carry. So there are ways in which people are reaching out to share skills and utilize the marketing methods that they have. Another piece of supporting the Zapatista movement through activities in the communities is ecotourism. And there are a number of ecotourism sites that are being run, as with this one in the community of Nuevo Jerusalem. So you can go rafting on this river, you can swim on this river, they have cabins, they're learning how to run them, they're learning how to market them, there's a website you can set up to come visit. So ecotourism is another important piece. Back to the caracoles. They are an ancient Maya symbol of time. They mean continuity, true speech, the word. This symbol of the snails are the Zapatistas, with their spiraling outer shell, their retractable appendages, so you can pull in when you need to, and you can let go when you need to. Little by little movement towards the horizon. So that's one of the reasons that we don't hear about the Zapatistas all the time. Whatever happened to the Zapatistas? Well, there are times when they are looking in, and they're dealing with getting their communities together, figuring out why it is that the business in Cerro Verde failed, and what were the things that they had to use the money on so that they took money from the business. They're thinking about what do we need to grow, how do we need to teach, how do we get our healthcare system together, so they're looking in. But then there are times that they say, our country needs us. We need to be la otra campaña. We don't vote in the elections, but we need to help other people understand and analyze the whole electoral process. Or we pull back in, and we're looking around, and we're strengthening our structure again, but then we look out and we see that the cartels, the violence with the cartels is killing 40,000 people in 2 years. So maybe we need to stand for that against that violence, and we come back out again. We pull back in. And then on December 21st, 2012, we marched silently through all of the places that were taken during the rebellion, never saying a word, but saying, listen, this is the sound of your country, of your life falling apart around you. So they're like the snail. They pull in, they push out. They pull in, they push out. Sometimes they think there are statements that have to be made publicly, as in this era. Sometimes they will say, you can't have school programs like the one that you went to because we can't protect you in our communities. So we want to ban you from coming into our communities. We have a red alert. We don't want you in our communities because we can't protect you from what's going on around us. They don't drink. They don't use drugs. Chiapas is now probably the most peaceful place to visit in all of Mexico. It's the only place my university would let me take students because it was the most peaceful place in all of Mexico. So sometimes they'll say, you can't come. And other times they will reach out, as they are with the education program. And then there will be lots of public events and lots of dancing, because dancing is the way. You know, other people drink and get drunk. Zapatistas dance till they drop. That's how you celebrate. What they have been saying since the rebellion is never more a Mexico without us. This has been the legacy of the uprising, the unexpected. It's not stationary with rigid ideological pronouncements, not by any means. They're constantly thinking about, talking about, reanalyzing everything that is. Because how do you institutionalize a rebellion? You have to constantly keep about thinking. So it's always been an evolution rather than a revolution, a bumpy social movement in a complex process of growth and change. And always the same things have been important, as you see here. A dignified place to live, land, education, health, justice, liberty, democracy, work, bread, peace, culture, independence. Always the same thing over the last 20 years. And preserving the land. So anything that threatens the land, like Article 27, like the